Welcome, rational thinkers and champions of evidence-based reasoning, to the Free of Faith podcast. This is the place where we dare to peel back the comforting but opaque layers of faith-based claims and expose their logical shortcomings. Today, we're asking a deceptively simple question with enormous implications. Can billions of people be wrong about God? Let's zoom in on something we often hear. Surely so many people couldn't believe in something if it weren't true. But let's flip that. Think of a Muslim child growing up in a tightly knit community where everyone worships Allah. That child sees devotion all around, people they trust, admire, and love. It feels unquestionable. And from their perspective, the idea that all those people might be wrong seems not just unlikely, it feels absurd. But now, shift the lens. From outside that belief system, we understand that the number of believers doesn't magically make Allah real. And here's the key move. Apply that same reasoning to Christianity. Just as numbers don't validate Islam for the outsider, they don't validate Christianity either. Truth doesn't vote by majority. Let's break this down with some logic. Premise 1.
Christianity has over 1 billion followers.
Premise 2.
Islam also has over 1 billion followers.
Premise 3.
Their central claims are contradictory. Jesus is divine and resurrected in Christianity. But in Islam, he's not divine and wasn't crucified.
Conclusion.
At least one group of billions must be wrong.
And that's not controversial. It's logically necessary. Logical contradictions can't both be true. So what does that tell us? It tells us that large-scale belief is not a reliable indicator of truth. If it were, we'd be in big trouble because those beliefs would be mutually confirming and invalidating at the same time. Now let's talk about how those beliefs become so widespread in the first place. Social conditioning. A child born into a religion inherits more than just rituals. They inherit a lens. They're taught not only what to believe, but how to see. Dissent is often painted as rebellion or spiritual failure. Scriptures like Romans chapter 1 frame non-believers as suppressing truth. This psychologically encourages insularity and distrust of other worldviews. The result? A bubble reinforced from all sides, in which faith is highly encouraged and scrutiny largely frowned upon. But there's more. The emotional power of religious gatherings is no small force. Walk into a church during a passionate worship service, with its lights low, voices raised, music swelling, and it's easy to feel something profound. A sense of transcendence, of connection. But pause for a moment. Are those emotions revealing truth? Or are they just activating the same psychological mechanisms that make movies and concerts so emotionally moving? We must always remember that feelings aren't facts. Here's the critical contrast. Science embraces fallibility. It holds ideas to the fire. If something doesn't work, it's revised or discarded. That's why medicine improves, why planes fly, and why we no longer believe the sun orbits the earth. Religion, by contrast, tends to lock beliefs in place, immune to falsifiability and insulated by sacred doctrines. When a prayer is answered, it's proof of divine love. When prayer isn't answered, it's God's will. Either way, no measurable standard is violated. The belief persists, unfazed by contradictory outcomes. It's a system protected from challenge, not refined by it. Theologians may argue that religious truth operates differently, suggesting it's not about evidence, but instead about meaning, morality, or revelation. But here's the problem. If religion is allowed to operate outside of a commitment to evidence, then any belief can claim truth. If you can't test it, you can't refute it. And if you can't refute it, you can't distinguish it from imagination. Some might say, but look at how religion transforms lives. And sure, faith can inspire charity, sobriety, and even joy. But so can non-religious philosophies, community activities, and social groups. Transformation doesn't require truth. All it requires is commitment. Think of astrology. Millions find comfort and guidance in horoscopes. But emotional payoff doesn't validate the influence of stars and planets over human affairs. It simply shows that humans are wired for patterns, narratives, and belonging. Let's return to the original question. Can billions of Christians be wrong? The answer is not only yes. They are very likely wrong if popularity alone is their defense. In the same way that billions of people once believed in geocentrism or bloodletting, the prevalence of belief is no shield from error. And let's not forget that Christians themselves often legitimately point out flaws in Islam, Hinduism, and other religions, highlighting emotionalism, cultural entrapment, or contradictory claims. But those critiques bounce back like a theological boomerang. Whatever you say about other religions' blind spots, those same arguments can, and should, be applied to your own. If truth matters, then the method for finding it matters even more. Methods rooted in faith, cultural repetition, and emotional resonance are not just unreliable, they're dangerous. They feel right while offering no way to be wrong. So the next time someone says, "But surely all these people can't be wrong," ask yourself, what if they are? History is full of massive, collective errors. It's been reason, not faith, that has consistently dragged us free of them. If this conversation has sparked some questions, or even some discomfort, that's a good thing. Questioning is the first step toward clarity. Don't settle for easy answers or platitudes. Dive deeper, explore further, and demand evidence. Head over to Free of Faith to read the full article and join the discussion. Let's keep this conversation going, because the pursuit of truth doesn't stop at questioning. It's about finding answers that actually make sense. Thank you for tuning in to the Free of Faith podcast, where we expose the logical failings of faith and celebrate the clarity that comes with reason. Until next time, stay skeptical, stay curious, and remember, rationality always outperforms faith. Engage reality, and I'll see you soon.